So I think one of the least popular messages currently, one of the messages that people are least interested in hearing, is that contrary to what most people I think suspect about the world, about humanity's place within it, that we're dooming the planet and ourselves with our reckless exploitation of the environment and so on, or that we're very likely to engage in nuclear conflict over natural resources or something of this nature. And while those things they're not untrue, um, what we also have is an extraordinary amount of potential as a species, and the things that we could do are amazing. As we could, yeah, radically improve the world if we put our minds to it, I think. And I think we could make radical steps forward in terms of our sophistication, in terms of science, technology, engineering, and maths, if we wanted to, very readily. You know, we're in an age now where I suspect we could probably build a space elevator if we wanted to. And indeed, the Chinese and the Japanese are both planning on building space elevators by the year 2050 or so. Which, if you think about it, now that it's 2023, it really isn't all that far away, is it not? 2050? It's only 27 years away or so, 26 and a half years away or so. It's almost, yeah, 25 years away. That's really not very far in terms of time. I will be, I'll be 55 or 57, roughly that, 56. That sort of age. See the first space elevator go up. I mean, that would be quite a day, would it not? We'll see that thing become operational in 2050. We might see it before then, I think. That's the other thing. I think there's an easy way to make space elevators with the relatively crude materials that we have at present, even the advanced materials such as carbon nanotubes, which they're thinking was going to hamstring the project of making a space elevator because even those wouldn't be strong enough. I think we'll start using balloons probably to suspend portions of a structure, a great tower, up in the atmosphere, and then just have that connected to a structure or two in space. Have it eventually be ion thrusters keeping the whole thing suspended, and maybe some sort of enormous space station up there. That's possible, I think. That's not my idea though. That's someone else's idea. Someone working for NASA came up with that. That's idea for a space elevator. Someone I know actually, Zephyr Panoia. He along with a collaborator of his, came up with an idea for a space elevator, or a device connected to the moon, actually, which I think might have merit in itself. But I think the idea of balloons that will really get us there quick, and really get us to space quick. You can imagine launching small rockets maybe from the top of it, or rocket propelled spacecraft of some description launching from up there, and having a sort of elevator structure going up and down it to transport craft and materials and whatever else, people, astronauts, even down the great structure that we could build if we wanted to. And so, well, should we, shouldn't we? Why not do that? Why not do that? I think it looks so cool if we did that. I think we will do that as well. That's just my suspicions. I think we'll eventually do it. We'll do it in the next few years, maybe next decades. What an amazing time to be alive, just for reasons like that. And split the crisis of energy. Like, if we really put our minds to it, we could solve it like that, no problem at all. But wind turbines on every roof. Why haven't we got a government-sponsored backed scheme doing that sort of thing? It would be easy. It'd be easy to solve it. Yeah, we're addicted to Russian coal, oil, and gas still. I say we, as soon as possible, end our use of those supplies of fossil fuels, stop burning them as soon as humanly possible. It's all to renewables. We can make positive impact housing with windmills. Have people living in windmills would be beautiful. If we wanted that, why does political will fail so badly in capturing what people want and what people find important? I even started a company back in 2015 now, I think, or 2016, aimed at doing exactly this, producing a political social networking site where, for instance, people vote on policy ideas, like a big online think tank. That's what I wanted to try and build, and I call it myfesto.com. I don't know, like My Manifesto or something. Sounds a bit like Mephisto, doesn't it? The devil. I don't know if there's like a cool brand or not, but I mean, yeah, it ended up failing. No one was interested in it. No one was interested in sponsoring me to push it all forward to the next level, really. And I didn't pursue it all that much after that. And I don't know, just one way or another, nothing came of it particularly, which was unfortunate because I thought it was a really good idea. I thought it was a very strong idea. I thought I was going to be the person to crack that. I don't know. But I'm interested in trying to help humanity in any way that I can. And when I look at our potential and the things that we could do, if we can crack nuclear fusion, which I suspect with the technology in space, if we were to do it in space, I suspect we could crack nuclear fusion. And then we're living in a different type of civilization, aren't we? We're approaching something more like a type 2 civilization, are we not? I think we're not quite a type 1 civilization at the moment, or maybe we are. We could terraform Mars if we had fusion technology. We most certainly could. We could create little stars in orbit around Mars to warm it up a bit, and to melt the ice caps, and to melt the waters that are in the soils of Mars, and to use magnetic fields to repel cosmic ray particles, which we could also do. Well, if we could do fusion in space, we can certainly do that. We can certainly shield the atmosphere that we want to build on Mars, on a terraforming Martian surface. We certainly can do these things. And lots of people say, you're just a nut. You're just crazy for thinking this. We most certainly can. We can just repel the cosmic ray particles, trap an atmosphere that's more Earth-like. Put water on Mars, even if we want more water. Could be brilliant. And have fusion heating it. Space. I think we could do that sort of thing. I really do. And we could build balloon cities if we wanted to. Maybe we should do that and launch rockets from them. Or was that too much like a Studio Ghibli idea? And I had this idea for like a balloon solar sailors that traps cosmic ray particles. You sail on the sort of cosmic wind with it. We could do that. That seems like it would work. We have a great future, a beautiful future. Beautiful future of space travel, all this sort of thing. More of it, more. Finally, of private space exploration. And I want to do that. I want to contribute to that space race, the private space race. I want to have a first to my name, like first private astronaut to Mars or something. Or, first person to the outer solar system, maybe. I'd love to see Jupiter up close. I think we really should be thinking that this stuff is within our capabilities now. Because I think it is. I've always been a cautious optimist, so I'm a rational optimist. I really interrogate everything that I pronounce, I think, and everything that I think. I constantly question myself. I constantly question my own beliefs, my own judgments, opinions, things. And I think we are within striking distance now. We're that close, maybe, from an astounding future, a really, really amazing time where we categorically dodged nuclear war. We got over that issue. We got over the issue of energy and energy prices. We want to enfranchise Russia within the Western project and all this sort of thing and make Russia absolutely a part of it and everything else, and to liberate and democratize the world, uphold the core principles of humanity, human rights, equality, justice, liberty, these things. And we can do that, and we can solve climate change. It's actually quite easy to do it. If we wanted to, we need plants to trap all that stuff in the atmosphere. If we were using cannabis agriculture at its optimum to sequester carbon, we would sequester all the carbon we'd ever need to sequester like that. We do it in the first year and repair our degraded soils in the process. It could be very easy to solve these problems. These are nothing, really. This could be nothing at all. But again, you have the media scaring people constantly, and people in the media, perpetuating this doom narrative, always building, it seems, to some catastrophe. And one series of catastrophes after another series of catastrophes. And this is how it carries on. This is what gets people hooked. People get hooked by the doom narrative and the negativity and the pessimism, or the unenlightened pessimism, I should say, and get swept up in it and become dependent on it, I think, and become dependent on something to give them that confirmation bias that they need to keep promulgating this doom narrative and keep thinking that this will all end in calamity. This will all end in death, fire, and destruction. It must. Why must it? Really, what about it needs to end quite so badly? And we've got AI coming on stream now, and this is now the big thing that's become part of the doom cycle of narratives in the media. Is like people saying very exotic things about the potentials of AI. But again, that is a new technology, and there are dangers with it. Yes, there are dangers of it, being used to create, I don't know, a new automated fraudster or something like this, or someone who's, very good at an entity that's very good at creating false online accounts and defrauding people of large sums. You know what I mean? You write an AI bit of software to act as a bot on online accounts and defraud a lot of people of their life savings. That'd be one thing that I would say. It might lead to, and well, that's very troubling for old people in their life savings, isn't it? But we've got to, well, the ones who aren't savvy enough, and combat it, try and reimburse people, try and make it all okay, and find the perpetrators, and we have intelligence services that are capable of doing this, I think. It wouldn't be too hard for them, since they probably would have been at the forefront of developing AI in the first place. But that's beside the point. And what a closer approximation of the point would be, I suspect, is that we could be on the cusp of a revolution in science, technology, engineering, and maths. We could be on the cusp of, with the James Webb Space Telescope, finding life on another solar system. If we make that discovery, it will be the most profound discovery we've made since we discovered that the Earth was not at the center of the solar system or the center of the universe. It would be a Galilean or a Copernican level of scientific revolution. It really would. And it would be one to capture the public's imagination as well, since if they find life on Proxima b Centauri, or one of those exoplanets out there, in the Alpha or Proxima Centauri systems, then they will be interested in going there at some point and trying to get there. And if we can do things like, which I suspect we also can, harness tiny black holes for propulsion systems to try and get us to light speed or get us to go faster in space, I think we eventually would be able to get to another solar system and to engage in interstellar travel. I really do. And so much pessimism is in the world, so much negativity, and a lack of the dreaming spirit of science and progress, the dreaming spirit of science and technology, engineering, and maths, and these things, and it's undergirded by a hostility towards these things and an envy of them. I mean, one way or another, I've grown up on a farm, so STEM has been my entire life. A farming background is a STEM background. It's a science, technology, engineering, and mathematical background. And it's so at the core of everything we do. It's so very important. It's so very important to the world and to human life on it. Down to the spear points and things like this, and the wheel, and fire, harnessing fire, and whatnot. And it's interconnected, interwoven into all those things. And from doing things like this, we begin eventually to assemble a corpus of knowledge that we call our scientific and technical understanding, And it culminates on things like rockets now, and on satellites, and on space exploration and manned space flights, and that stuff that we do. It's incredibly cool, and that I want to do. And we should be allowing people to dream. I think we should be allowing children to dream, and the generations of the future coming on stream now. We should be giving them the idea that they, could be able to go to space in the future and should want to go to space, and that everyone should want to go to space, and there'd be huge array of opportunities in space, things like manufacturing and agriculture, even possibly, and energy maybe, and more communications and scientific work and various other things that we could be doing in space. And I say, just when it comes to the STEM fields, more, always more. And so the STEM fields themselves be open to new thinking and innovations from anywhere and anyone, and to never miss out potentially on incredibly valuable opportunities presented by people in the public sphere with their own ideas in science, and that the man on the street could be right for once, or the crackpot's inventor in his workshop. Like that's a classic, very British figure, I think, somehow, a very English figure. The sort of the inventor type with his pipe or whatever, elbow patches. Yeah, I'd like to be that sort of person, that sort of real Caractacus Potts type. But you shouldn't underestimate people like that, and those are all over the world. Random eccentrics working on this, that, and the other. And people nowadays, people on YouTube, like building jet engines out of hair dryers. You don't know like what the applications of that technology could be. Microjet engines, microjet, jetpack, jet suit. Maybe one day. Again, we don't know how far things can develop very often from simple things and from simple innovations and different ways of looking at things. And we get random things out of things like investment in the space race, like personal computing, Teflon, what are the others? There's all sorts of random stuff like microwaves and solar panels, lots of other things we get from space. The mobile phones, I think we also get from space exploration. Or there's like shrunken personal computers. In any case, you get the point. I think when it comes to personal computing alone, like think of the freedom that gives us, or the amazing freedom of information that we have with the internet now. It's staggering. It's magnificent. And the world could become better still. And it's flattering, actually, I think, that so many people think like it could not possibly get better, it could only get worse. That I will expect the worst to happen. It's rather, on a level, it's quite an intelligent way of looking at the situation, I think, but I don't necessarily think it's the most intelligent way of looking at the situation. I think the better way of looking at things is to not look at the problems, is to look at the solutions and to figure out what the solutions to the problems are and to know what the solutions are to problems. Because we know, loads of people know that, we can sequester readily, not necessarily with hemp even. I suppose we could do it with bamboo or wood or whatever. But with hemp, yeah, we could sequester all the carbon like that. Be no problem at all. But yeah, anyway, thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you live a slightly more optimistic life now after having listened to me go on about all this. Yeah, problems with energy and climate change, those aren't big problems at all. We can get past them. And nuclear wars, God forbid we do it. Hopefully we won't. We would survive it as a species. I'm 99% certain about that, I think. But yeah, we stand to gain an astounding future if we're willing to do it, I think. If we're willing to make the right investments in the future and invest in the right places and the right technologies, and to be bold enough to think that we can do things like this, like putting future reactors in space and so on. And I think we can do it, absolutely. I think we can be bold enough to build space elevators, and we will do it, I think. Yes. And if you're my age, alive now, you're probably going to witness the age in which we found life on another planet, if there is going to be such an age. You probably will get to see that. So there's that to look forward to. And that could happen any day now. And you'll probably live to see a space elevator get built. And if you're in your 70s now, you might live to see that as well. Hopefully. Thank you for watching. I think I've passed on long enough about this. Love you lots, everybody. See you soon.